StarCast returns to the Chicago area this Labor Day weekend. Tickets for StarCast 6 are now on sale at starcast.com and include AEW All-Out Ticket Bundle options. Join us at the Hyatt Regency Schaumburg starting Friday night, September 1st, for unique fan experiences with wrestling legends from yesterday and superstars from today. Follow StarCast events on Twitter for the latest updates about all things StarCast. StarCast 6 is brought to you in part by ProWrestlingCrate.com. Monthly mystery crates for die-hard wrestling fans. Plans start at $9.95 and are the perfect gift for any wrestling fan. Visit ProWrestlingCrate.com today.
The recognized.
It's that time, so come on down. We're walking in the Dogg Pound Road, D-O-double-G, Dogg and Cash. Talking shop, reminiscing on a flashback. Hall of Fame name with a legacy that's long. That's the legend of the Armstrongs. Questions get answered, oh, you didn't know? Let's start the show.
Are we doing?
From your house we were born, I don't know stinking words.
Yeah.
Around you know. Oh,
Come on,
you
man.
Didn't know. Welcome to the show. Boom, 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 boom. It's D-O-double-G and Casio.
Yeah. Keep going.
We don't know what the H we doing. But up we be screwing. Say up. I don't know.
Up, we be screwing.
Yes, I knew I had to get to screwing, and I didn't know how much time I had. It was a last minute.
Bars, my friend.
Yeah, it was a last minute thing. But when I
How
cut,
are you, sir?
oh man,
You're pumped.
I'm okay.
You got
I am
one
pumped.
of your boys with us
I
today.
am pumped, to be quite honest with you. We've had some knock dead guests as of late, and today we have another one. But let's do some pleasantries first before we just dive into his youthful body.
Well, we like to get me and you in a good mood because sometimes you're a little ornery.
I get ornery.
So we like
It's
to start with
basically where you just like our Arn Anderson. You're just crumpety
ornery.
old. You're just ornery.
Well, we like to get ornery.
Hey,
Right?
one time.
Oh, come on.
This is horrible. But one time, Arn Anderson's like dog Big Show a lot, and Arn's great with zingers and one-liners and stuff. And so he zing something at Big Show, and Big Show just snapped back and said, "Shut up over there, you Bob Dole looking mother." I thought, Bob Dole.
But he doesn't look like it, but it's hilarious.
So the thing about it is, it's not about how he looks. It's about how that hand holds the pen. That hand holds the pen. You know what I mean? And so it made it funnier because it was brutally rough. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it was like, oh, that's horrible. Like he had an injury that made it that like, and you don't even care, do you?
He got tired of being fired upon, and he fired back.
He fired back, and when he fired back, it was one of those. It was cannon. It was a cannon fire. I don't know if he can fire any other kind. Big Show.
Well, that's a great defense mechanism. If you have the rep of, if you mess with me, I go immediately nuclear bomb. Then people go, I don't want to mess with him.
I better not say anything.
Yeah. Some people you gradually work up.
I heard what he said yesterday. Jim is still crying. Oh, Lord.
Look, you're not ornery today, but we're still doing our meme of the week. Get us in a good mood.
Yeah.
Drop that meme of the week. We haven't seen it until our producer Dom does it. Here we go.
Oh, God.
Give me a, oh, gosh.
What
Look
a
at
smile,
young
man. What a
Steve.
baby face smile. Right now, he's like, and I tell you what, I'm the best damn defensive back in Collier High. I don't know why.
Let's don't lie.
Yeah,
He was an absolute liability on defense.
Oh yeah. Bless his heart.
That's good looking hair though for Steve.
Oh, it was good hair, and it lasted. Well, it was by the time he got to WCW, he had about half that, and then he just went on with it and did the Casio. He always said he wanted to look like you. He used to say that all the time to me.
Well, look, Dog, you are known for having some great partners, my friend.
Okay.
Throughout your career, you have had incredible partners.
Yep,
okay.
That's true. We talking wrestling?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. Think back start ranking your partners. I know I'm at the bottom of the list. I'm new on the totem pole.
Yep, you're 74.
You've had some incredible partners.
Yes, I have. And they only make me better, each and every one of them.
And today, we have one of your former partners.
I think
he's got to be in the Mount Rushmore.
Maybe one of my favorite former partners too. I had a lot of fun with this guy, in and out of the bedroom. So, how should we? What do we? Not really. We never made it to the bedroom.
Never. It's not what you've told me off air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on our guest of the day.
At this time.
Please, Mr. Josh Mathews.
Mathews, ladies and gentlemen of television's The Mathewses.
What's up, guys?
How are you, Josh?
Liger Josh Mathews, as you called him one episode.
I did call him that. Hey, for real, though, for like a week, Josh,
Yes,
Casio thought we were going to interview Josh Alexander.
I did so much research on Josh Alexander.
He said he's a fighting machine. What's his
had
moniker?
Impact going. I didn't know
a
what
walking
was happening.
weapon, yeah.
The walking weapon.
Yeah.
What I call him, the walking machine or something.
And then
I'm sorry to disappoint because clearly.
Yes. No, you are much better to talk to, I would
If you'll
think.
sling on the headgear, my notes will still stand. Which was, why do you wear the headgear? And that's all I answered.
Oh, Casio's a stand-up comic here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Look, you guys teamed up on Are You Serious for WWE. An incredible. Look at that.
Was he ever on there, or is that me? I need my readers.
That's him getting on Arn.
That was Big Hey, Josh. So, how long have you known me?
Gosh.
Josh, let's talk about me.
Yeah, I mean, it's your show, right? I met you for the first time. Oh my gosh, let's see. My wrestling career lasted all of 5 minutes. But on one of the shows that I did very early on in my career, you were on it. It was in a bar in Chicago. You probably don't remember
I
it.
do not.
Yeah, but you were there. You were super awesome then. You were super awesome when I met you later in life. And you know, I think that, and I know this is a fun podcast, but Brian came into my life in a time that, in my career, that I needed Brian to be there as an ally and someone that I could talk to. And Brian was just super great to me my whole time, all the time that I've known you.
I didn't ask for you to say that, but I'm sure glad you did.
Yeah,
because I think of myself as like a real piece of crap, and so when you say that, it's like, okay, I have a redeeming quality. And so now I just have to call you every day to remind myself of that.
Josh, text me. I'll just text you back.
Yeah, that's probably easier.
You did Tough Enough in 2001. You met him before that or after?
No, it was after. I couldn't find a wrestling ring before Tough Enough, and then after it was like on my drive home after losing. Cell phones were, I think they were a thing then, right? As I'm getting older, but I actually know Justin Roberts had called my parents' house, and he was putting together a show in Chicago, and he sort of helped me along the way in different bookings and stuff like that. And Brian happened to be on one of the shows that I was on. Yeah.
What was Punk on that show or anything?
He was, yeah. It was Punk and Cabana, and I've told them this story. They were both very mean to me, probably rightfully so. And
No.
Punk said,
No,
Punk said,
not rightfully so.
Well, Punk said I was probably mean, but not Colt. But Colt was just kind of following suit. But we lauged about it years later. But yeah, I mean, it was.
Remember you guys bullied me in the locker room?
Yeah.
So cute.
But and that was. We're talking 26 years ago now.
Wow,
That's crazy.
Wow. I am old.
Yeah.
So that gets us up to, or no, let's just start there. you were still doing some. I mean, did we start doing Are You Serious as soon as we met? Was that kind of?
I think you came back, and then they
Yeah, in
wanted to do this
2011,
show.
I think.
Yeah, and they wanted to do the show, and they tried it with me and Booker, and then they tried it with a couple other people, and then I think you and I did the pilot, and at TV probably, and then everyone loved you on the show because you were very funny and candid, and then we started doing There's a Shot, and then we started doing it in Stamford every few weeks, and honestly, at that point in my career, it was one of the the more fun things that we got to do, and relax and not get, there was no microscope, right?
It was definitely, and we also knew it wasn't airing on TV, so Vince would never see it. So we could do whatever we wanted, We had a good time. And the guy, do you remember the guy that wrote it, Jeremy Brown?
Yeah, he went on to become a writer, right? Like at WWE?
Yeah. He was, and actually after I mentioned him on a prior podcast, he reached out to me via Twitter, and we actually kind of went back and forth. He was a very funny dude, but he was very quiet and to himself. Like he wasn't, but he was also the voice of the Puppet H on there. The puppet.
Oh, that was one of my questions.
Oh yeah, well that was him. He was the writer of the thing too. He was a funny cat, but he was the kind of funny that he's a funny writer. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that he could be funny. And I don't know. He never came
like the guy behind the camera giving you one-liners and things like that.
But I don't know. Maybe he can't do it. But man, we did have a lot of fun doing that. Like it was pretty lax, and we kind of did just have fun, and it was kind of a little team there. It was one of the funner times of my time there too, to be quite honest with you, because not long after that I started writing the show, and then that was when I wanted to hang myself. But so let's. Were you going to say something, Casio?
No, I got plenty of questions, but you go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say and I'm probably bouncing all over the place, but so last time I saw you, we were kind of reunited, and it feels so good. We were reunited at the Ric Flair's last show, and we kind of got an opportunity to work together there, but in totally different form than Are You Serious or anything like that. It was literally kind of you and I and Zahadi and well, that's probably it. It's probably all I give
Josh
credit.
Alexander was there.
Probably all I'll give credit to.
Credit in my research.
Kind of ran that thing, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of different people from a lot of different companies came together that night, that last Ric Flair's last match, man, and they made magic. And television or streaming magic, whatever we make nowadays. But like I thought we worked together seamlessly, everybody, and I don't know, man, it felt good. It felt good.
Can you believe we just passed the 1 year anniversary for that, man?
It's so strange that was a year ago, but also time flies when you're having fun, and I've been having a dang good time lately. Josh always had a good time, sometimes a little too good, and I would find him like sleeping on the bench out front of the hotel.
That happened.
Yeah, in his like nice $500,000 suit. I don't know how much suits cost. I apologize. But so Josh, talk to me about what you're doing right now, because a lot of people don't know where you've been and what you've been doing.
Yeah, I try to hide as much as humanly possible. No, and that's funny thing about the Ric Flair show too. It was so much fun. I half jokingly thought that with the year now, passing us, that we'd be getting ready for the second Ric Flair's last match and do it again, right?
Or his funeral.
I was in the truck, so I didn't get to really see anybody. Sanjay stopped by, and I got to talk to him for a little bit, but it was just like, hey, The Undertaker's here, and hey, this person's here, and so-and-so's here. And I was like, well, I'm sitting in the truck next to David Zahadi. So, but it was a lot of fun to be there and to get that opportunity and to produce that show was a lot of fun. And that's kind of what I get to do now is line produce Impact Wrestling's weekly show and pay-per-views and Impact Plus specials. And I love it. And it all kind of came out of I feel like all my jobs in wrestling have come out of almost like a necessity, right? Like Keith Mitchell left to go start AEW. And Keith was my producer, and I loved Keith. And I feel so lucky that I got to work for Kevin Dunn and Keith Mitchell. But when Keith left to go do AEW and start that up with those guys, we didn't have a producer anymore. So we tried all these different guys. so many different people came in and just, I just wanted to do it. I just said, I need to do this myself. And then it was like, okay, who are we going to find to be the announcer for Impact? And we tried a few different people. And finally we got Tom Hannafin when he was let go from WWE, and Tom's awesome.
So good.
You probably worked with Tom. Yeah, he's he's silky smooth and great,
and
much better
and
than
just
me.
generous and like in the bedroom especially.
Of course, yeah. He's
Another
a great
bedroom.
dude.
Yeah, there's in the bedroom, a lot of in the bedrooms coming tonight.
So since with Tom coming in and now I just get to be in the truck and produce the show and get to see everything from a different point of view, and didn't realize that for 25 years I was learning through osmosis from Kevin and Keith Mitchell and Mike Mansuri and those types of guys. So it's been crazy.
What about, speaking of Mansuri, what about Mansuri's on top of the world right now, man? Good for
I just
him.
talked to him a few weeks ago, and we got to catch up for a good hour or so, and couldn't be happier for what he's doing.
I guarantee you he's making a huge difference over there. I can already tell when I do tune in that he's making a huge difference over there.
Yeah, without question.
And it's just visible if you have eyeballs. But so you said something about being thankful to work under Kevin. Kevin gets a bad rap. Kevin gets a lot of crap from people because they want to bury somebody else other than Vince, so they just throw his name out there because they read it in a dirt sheet. But what they never read about Kevin Dunn is how he's the best in the business at his job. You know what I mean? Like how he's the best in the world about handling JFK's landing airplanes, and he's getting you to commercial break on time. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing what he does, and to watch him work with and for Vince it's a masterclass, man. And people that don't know just hate. You know what I mean? Like
it's so weird. Like and I see online too. People will be like, "Oh, there's Kevin Dunn directing." Well, he's not the director, but yeah, sure, you can. If that's what you want to bury, you can bury it. But it's amazing. Kevin was the one who called me when I was 20 and offered me my job at WWE as an announcer. And just for as long as I was there, as I got older and there, I got to spend more time with Kevin and sort of open up and learn from him. And just even now to this day, like things will happen in the truck where I think about Kevin or what would he do or how
you hear your inner Kevin.
Yes. And then with Keith was so different, but Keith was still like Keith Mitchell, like but it was just like I try to be a hybrid of both of them, and I find myself leaning more towards Kevin's side. It's just like when I first started producing, I was like, I'm going to do this without screaming at people, and you can't do it. Like it's impossible.
It's impossible because you're trying to get like 10 other people with machines and stuff to grasp your vision and get it on camera. You know what I mean? And
in this amount of time.
Right. In a millisecond. And so you find yourself going, F it, take camera 6. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh God, take 6, somebody. I know I probably did that to you at the Ric Flair show, but it's nothing personal. And man, I learned that with Kevin and Vince. Like, the show's over, and everything that just went down during that live episode is behind you now. And there's no.
I wish that I could have had that mentality then. Like I was in WWE and I was 20 to 30, whatever. Right, I was there for.
Yes.
But I was like basically a kid. And now as I look back in my early 40s, it's just like, man, like not a missed opportunity, a great opportunity, and I learned so much. Like I went to WWE University. I used to say that when I worked there all the time. But then I. Reason would find myself on the jet going back with them most weeks because I had to be back in Stanford in the morning. It wasn't because they wanted me on the plane with them. It was because I had to be back there. And it was just a different world. Like everyone was just chill and hanging out. And if you wanted to have a beer or a glass of wine, you could, or if you wanted to eat, whatever the case may be. It was just like, I was so like, but it didn't need to be that.
If you could just go back and tell yourself, dude, chill. Like have some sashimi at 35,000 feet and kick your feet up, bro. You know what I mean? Because
but I love when you were there on the plane because you kind of like you would come up and sit on that I'm talking about the new plane, right? You would sit on that little thing there and kind of make everything a little lighter than you know. Than
I would try to. I would because that's I don't know, man. It is. We can all have a good time here. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even drinking or doing any drugs then. But like we can all have a good time. We don't have to be stuffed shirts the whole time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
sometimes you read the room and go, you know what? Let's stay stuffed shirts. I'm
I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, I'll go be back here if you need me. And then, what me and Michael Hayes used to call the trailer park was just me and him in the back. Like, oh, nobody wants to sit back here with us. It was soy sauce stains all over our clothes.
Tell me about Josh. Tell me about the first time you're on the plane.
Oh my gosh, I can't remember the first time. I was there for a few memorable events. One was my birthday, and they brought a cake, and everyone sang happy birthday.
On the plane?
And on the plane.
Nice.
Stephanie was on the plane, and I was just like, my mind is blown that these people even know it's my birthday, let alone are singing to me.
But that's
the night
also, I don't mean to cut you off, dude,
No,
but everybody gets such a bad rap. If you're in, you're in, man, and your family, you are familia, and you are in, and that's the kind of stuff they do to prove it. And you go like, man, I didn't even know you knew my name. You know what I mean? But thank you for this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, that's okay. I mean, one of the other times, the night that Warrior died, Vince, just said, hey guys, the way I handle these things is I like to celebrate people's lives and their legacy, and it ended up being a great plane ride. There was real bad storms once coming into the Northeast, and we had to leave for SmackDown like 4 days early. And Sue DeRosa called me, and she was like, Kevin wants you on the jet just in case something happens. So it was me, Vince, Mark Carano, and a few of the riders, and we were waiting for Vince on the plane, and he rolls up in his Bentley and gets on the plane in jeans and a t-shirt, and it was one of the most fun rides that I ever had, because the riders started asking him about stuff from the past, and he was in a great mood. And we went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and had some fun. So I don't remember my first time, but I remember those times, and it was just, I was always just so grateful to one, get home, because none of us love being on the road. So you get home at 3 o'clock in the morning, you wake up in your own bed the next day.
Yeah,
so I mean, those things.
Some of them riders would avoid that jet like the plague, and I just thought, no way, you're going to wake up tomorrow and fly commercial all the way to across the country or wherever.
Go to security.
Like,
How did they avoid it?
I don't know. They just felt like it was uncomfortable, but they're just hearing stuff that they didn't know about. You know what I mean? They didn't know the truth.
I mean, like, Brian Gewirtz got to put his headphones on and watch movies. Like, that was part of his deal. Like, he got left alone. Some people didn't get left alone, but it was all mostly in good fun. And I don't have any horror stories, I guess is the way I should put it. Like, nothing ever bad happened to me on there, and everyone was always
So you never
gracious
purchased
and kind.
sex?
I never, no. I didn't know that was a thing. I wish you would have smartened me up with that.
No, you said horror stories. I didn't know what you were. Which
HORROR.
Horror. You know what? I
Horror,
took that a totally different way,
okay.
Josh.
I
prostrate myself before you and beg your forgiveness.
It's okay. It's okay.
Josh, so let's talk about your wife.
Yeah, my wife. She just walked in.
I saw you look over there, and I either thought his place is haunted or someone just walked in.
No, she just said, "Hey, buddy."
Hey, please
buddy.
tell her hello.
Everyone says hi.
Yeah, do you know who his wife is, Casio?
Madison Rain.
Oh, you did know. Okay, apparently you did know.
I did my studies on Josh Alexander. I know these things.
I know. So how long y'all been married now?
August will be 8 years.
Oh, wow.
We met, oh my gosh. We didn't meet officially. Like, I started in TNA in the summer. I saw her my first day there. So the day that I got released from the WWE, TNA happened to be in New York. So I got released about 9 o'clock in the morning. I called Taz, who was with TNA at the time. He said, let me call you right back. He hangs up. He says, how quickly can you be in New York? I said, on the Stanford, I could be there in 45 minutes. So I went there in the same clothes that I was fired in, which was a nice suit, and showed up at TNA.
You always look great.
Thank you.
To this day.
I appreciate that. And I met with everyone there. I saw my wife there. She said to Taryn Terrell, who's that guy? Taryn Terrell said, oh, that's Josh Mathews from WWE. And she said, oh, he'll be hired here tomorrow. It was a few months later, but yes, I was hired there.
Nice.
And then I was in the digital world and then they lost the Spike deal as I'm in Nashville. But in any event, during that hiatus, I was running some of the digital department content-wise.
Yeah.
And I had to do different things with talent, and I, reached out to her specifically. I had a little plan in mind. And we just started chatting on the phone. We saw each other in New York when we did the first show on Pop TV. No, oh my gosh, Destination America. That was the network that we went from.
They have some
yeah,
great. They
forgot
have
about
some
that.
great like
Haunted.
mountain monsters and all this. Like I swear that's all I watched that channel for.
And so we met up in New York, and then she came down to Nashville a month later, and we got married then in August after just started basically knowing each other in January. So I'm sure people either thought she was pregnant or we were insane. But 8 years later, we have a great life. She's been with AEW for over a year.
She was pregnant, and you both insane.
But it's been awesome, and you know, she had a very young daughter when we first started dating, and you know, it's been a dream. Like, if I would have known that day that I got released from WWE that my life would be where it is now, I would have been.
Wow.
Hey man, this is awesome.
Yeah, please.
So,
You dusted your feet off.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So what is? I saw you at the Ric Flair last match. Then I came and saw you again in Chicago again.
Yep.
In between, you know, when I got fired and in between the firing and hiring back, I came up there and worked with y'all on a couple of TVs and a pay-per-view y'all had, and that was super fun for me to get to. Man, it's real. You guys got like a family there. You know what I mean? Like it really felt like that too. And I'll say this out loud and maybe regret it. I almost felt like I was an outsider to the family there, even though some of the people were family members to me. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Tommy Dreamer, some of these guys like I've been down the road with, Scott D'Amore for one. But like it was almost like, and this is a tight knit unit they got here, and they know what they're doing, and they're doing it. So I was impressed with you guys. What you guys, do you feel like you're growing? You feel like things are going in the right direction? And I don't want to put you in a bad spot, but how do you feel about the direction of the company?
I mean, when I first started to where we are now, to the Anthem acquisition, to going to court, Bob Ryder and I went to court when Dixie was there, like fighting for her company with Billy Corgan. I wanted to know what was going on, and people were like, "You're going to go?" And I said, "Yeah, I want to see this and see what happens." I mean, this is like my future here at stake, and because it was weird at the time. During that time, Lucha Underground had also offered me a position there, so it was like I chose TNA. So I was like hopefully this has made the right decision.
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, that's a shoot question because I didn't know if I never saw one of their shows, to be quite honest.
No, it was gonna same kind of deal, producer / play-by-play announcer, but I didn't want to move to LA. Was the short story on that one. But to answer your question,
that's an easy decision, right?
Yeah, LA or Nashville, right? Where you want to live.
Yeah.
But I think that Impact has grown so much from when I first started there. Literally, almost saw the demise of the company to where we are now. And to your point about it being a family, it's like, I think because I was in WWE for so long, I hate that word because not that you're not a family in WWE, but it's almost like the day that they let you go, that's not family, right?
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
Right, you're done. So I'm very cautious with that word, but it is very much like that. And I think that I think our creative team does a great job. Like we have shows this week again in Chicago, and the formats are done. I have the shows. I've written my ancillary program that I need to write. Everyone else from every department down knows what they need to do. So from that perspective, it's a pretty well-oiled machine. And I think we've all kind of figured out exactly what everybody does, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are. So I think from that point, it's great. I wish more people watched us, and I wish, I think from a wrestling show perspective, for 2 hours, it's one of the most entertaining shows. We don't try to insult the intelligence of the audience. We try to close every story. And I just think that, and God bless those wrestlers that we have, because they work their tails off, man.
Yeah.
And whether there's 50 people there, whether there's 500 people there, to 1,000 people there, they work so hard, every single one of them, from Sammy Callahan, Deonna Purrazzo, Trinity showing up and doing her thing. Like, they just work so hard.
Yeah, they're the backbone, right? And
Yes, 100%.
So it's a good time too in wrestling. I feel like growth is kind of on everybody's agenda, and it's kind of happening.
Here's what's happened in the last 5 years in my life, dog. That is the last 5 years I've had my now wife in my life, dating and now married.
Yeah.
And you've seen her. If there's one thing you know, she's trying to get me in better shape.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, when I saw her, I was jealous of her, and she's a woman, and I'm like a wrestler, but I was jealous, and I still am kind of.
Well, one thing she loved was that our next partner, AG1, came into the picture.
AG1, yeah.
The daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health.
Yeah.
And if you drink this thing every single morning, she's so excited. She's got the AG1 shaker. I was excited because it tasted good.
Yeah. She stole it from you.
She did.
She stole it from me. Yeah. She can.
We had to reorder quickly. I said, I'm supposed to take this so I know what I'm talking about. One, so I can get healthy, and two, know what AG1 is. And she goes, "Whoops, we'll get some more."
Yeah,
because it's mine now.
There's so many. Like I love the adaptogens, and there's so many things in there. Probiotics for your gut health that we talk a lot about on here because we both have huge guts. But like they have so many things in there. If you went and bought it all, it'd cost you about $1,000 a month. But what this is $3. This is less than your cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? This is about $3 for a shake a day. And if you go to Smoothie King, you're spending 10. I can guarantee you that. And they don't have half. They don't have a quarter of what this thing has in it. They did all the shopping for you at the GNC. They put it all in this little scooper, and you drink 1 scoop a day. And if that ain't convenient, I don't know what is. I want to get in some comfy clothes and watch some murder shows and put down my AG greens. And that's just how I roll.
AG1, the beautiful thing about it, she said, I asked her, you were talking about gathering up all these things that are in this 1 scoop.
Yeah.
I said, are you not taking all the same stuff you used to take? Like, we used to have a bunch of stuff out on the kitchen counter. And she goes, no, I got the AG1 scoop. It's all there now. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is scoop. Number 1.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. And look, I appreciate them sponsoring the show because it has helped with my gut health. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, that's all you need. And like you said, science-driven formulation of vitamins, probiotics, that's that gut health, and whole food source nutrients. They are raising the standard for quality in the supplement category. It helps you build your health foundation first.
Yep, from the inside out.
This is a micro habit that they deliver macro benefits. How about that, dog?
Oh,
how cool does that sound?
Micro habit with macro benefits. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Or did I say it wrong?
No, you said it perfect.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Take care of your health every single day. That's why so many great athletes are on this as well. A lot of them drink AG1, and you can too. And with every daily serving, like Dogg said, you're setting yourself up for success. 75 high-quality ingredients, given that key daily nutrients, supporting energy, focus, strength, and clarity. Dogg, and the best part about all of it, you've already mentioned it, costs less than $3 a day. Woo!
I mean, you pay more for everything.
Yeah, for literally anything.
Like everything. So yeah, it's cheap, it's convenient, and it tastes good. And look, that's why I do it, because it is cheap and convenient. Like if it were a process I had to go through, I probably would have put it down. But 1 scoop. And like I said before, I do mine with orange juice. So 1 scoop, because it kind of has a tropical taste anyway.
It does.
1 scoop, and that's it. And I chug it, and I'm done for the day. And I didn't take 11 pills and 14 fish oil something or other. I don't even know what they all are. You know what I mean? I do know what's in here, and I know it's helping me from the inside out. So
if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D. I know I mention this every time, but go look at the health benefits of vitamin D. And if you have a deficiency, it's usually at the root of a lot of problems that you'll have in your life. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/DOGG. That's drinkag1.com/DOGG. Go check it out now. And thank you, AG1, for sponsoring Oh, You Didn't Know.
Thank you, AG1. Who is, and I mean from a production side, not a talent side. I'll get there, but who from a production side is an unsung hero up there to you?
Eric Tompkins, who not a lot of people know, is our director of post production, and Eric is just incredible. The way his mind thinks, he does all the cold opens and for all the pay-per-views and the shows. And
he is talented.
Great ear for music. You know, anytime you see the Eric Young vignettes or the things like that, you know, that's all kind of starts with Eric, and he hates being talked about. He hates anybody saying his name, but you know, like, that's why you know so much about David Sahadi and you know so much about Adam Panucci, and you know, but you don't know so much about our guys because they don't like to be talked about. And you know, Eric and I have lunch every day at TV, and you know, to catch up, because he is in Nashville and I'm in Columbus, but he's got such a great mind for what we do and how to present it to the audience.
What's his name again?
Eric Tompkins.
I'm gonna see if we can't.
You got to get him on the show. He would be awesome. Eric's been in the business for a long time, and he left to go help Jeff start GFW. Yeah. So he's a Kevin Sullivan guy. Kevin Sullivan, the wrestler. Kevin Sullivan, who's at AEW now. So he kind of comes from that tree, right? It's almost like the Nick Saban tree, right, of coaching, and how it kind of branches out, like you know. So Eric kind of falls under that Sully tree.
Exactly. So that, look, I'm glad you shouted him out. I don't know if I had an opportunity to meet him or work with him at all, but the packages are good. You know what I mean? When you watch them and you go like, okay, crap, that's top notch. And you mentioned it. To have a feel for so much more goes into it than pushing buttons. You know what I mean? To have you mentioned the feel of music and the rhythm and the flow of things. And if you don't, sometimes you can't articulate that stuff. But Mansouri was great at it. You know what I mean? I didn't mean was. He is great at it. And it was. I would ask him. I would actually, because he was the young dude coming up, and all of a sudden he was just doing it. You know what I mean? I was like, I remember this guy was on the floor when I was running rehearsals or whatever, you know, whatever. Like, now he's just running the show, and man, he was really good at it. And so, like we talked about earlier, you can tell their show's better.
100%. And with Mike, it was great because when the WWE Network started, Mike Mansouri and Mark Palmerico were kind of tapped as the producers of the Raw pre-show and post-show, and they were very different in the way that they did things. Like, Mark almost let me produce those pre and post shows. So that's kind of where I learned. And he was very just kind with me, allowing me to do that, right? He could have just said, we're going to do it the way I want. Yes. And you know, he would come to me after the show, right before the show was about to end, and say, hey, what do you want to hit on the post show? Okay, let's do this, this, and this. Mansouri was different. He wanted to tell me, this is what we're doing. So as a talent, that was great. As if I was going to be a producer 10 years later, like I am now, the way that Mark did it was great too. So it was just able to learn from
again, really. like you, because they are all off the Saban tree, right? They're all off of that ultimate, the best in the industry. Bar, I mean, there's no doubt you can't argue that. And so all of these guys learn from there. And look, Palmerico, I ran NXT. Like I did at the Ric Flair show, kind of run rehearsals and then kind of help guide the show a little bit. But I totally was putting myself over and forgot where I was going with that. Can we just stop for a second and acknowledge how good I am, though? Thank you. All of them come from that tree. So then you get to know the Mike Mansouri might snap at you like Kevin, like you mentioned. He might, and he does, and he's going to manage you. He's going to manage you whether you want to be managed or not. You know what I mean? And that's his style. And it got a lot out of me. You know what I mean? Where we would snap at each other, but it was in the heat of battle. And like we learned from the ones before us, when the show's over, it's okay. We're out of the firefight now. You know what I mean? We did what we had to do then.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Then you go back after the show and you go to the hotel and you talk about it. You do a little post-mortem and it's just, and you do it all again the very next week.
The very next day. And you do it because you love it, right? Do you still love it?
Yeah, I do. I do. And sometimes I get mad at myself for still loving it, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and after every pay-per-view, you remember the little stuff, right? Like we held
The
that
one
replay too
thing
long.
that was
Yeah. And it's like I always tell David after the show, or Eric, or whoever I happen to see, it was I'd give us an A-. I'd give us a B+. We missed something here. I could have squeezed that in, a little quicker. But you learn too. And from the first live show that I did, and I really do think COVID was a blessing, because we got to do all those empty arena shows, and that was my first foray into producing, was empty arenas, no fans, and some people didn't want to go to these shows, and it was like, hey man, we got to go to work, so let's go to work.
Yeah, I know. I totally get that. There's always going to be somebody telling you what to do. But yeah, so Mansuri would do it one way, and Palmerico would do it the other at NXT. I loved them both too, man. And I got. It's great if you have a rapport with that guy sitting in the seat. And so I always screw this up too, still to this day. So what is So what is KD? What is KD?
So he's the producer, and then I would assume at this point, Marty. It would be the director.
Director. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So that's what. And look, Marty and I kind of grew together too as they put him in that seat.
Yeah,
and I was running rehearsals back then, and it was almost like our careers went this way until I tapped out and ran away. I've always been a coward, Josh. You know that.
But you're back. You're there now, yes?
Yes. I'm in charge of live events, so the creative of live events. So just like who's going over, So if you want to send me some money, Roman, I'll get you a win.
Wait, I thought I was already getting paid for this.
You are. I was talking to Roman Reigns. Yeah, This is not Josh. This is not about you.
Road Dogg's going over in every episode of this show.
So and I'm not gonna stalk you or anything. I might stalk you. You're in Columbus, Ohio.
I'm in Columbus, Ohio. We were in Nashville, and my wife's from here, so it just made more sense with everybody here to be here. So I love it.
And you love Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
No. You're a Notre Dame guy.
I grew up a Notre Dame fan. I've jumped around a bit. I grew up a Notre Dame fan.
Get that.
I was an Oregon Ducks fan. Still, I'm an Oregon Ducks fan.
Oh yeah, they got cool looking uniforms.
And you went to the place in Oregon and brought me back some stuff. So,
yes,
whoa,
I did.
Yeah.
I'm a friend.
I have a pair of wide receiver gloves, Oregon wide receiver gloves. But nonetheless, I do like Ohio State because campus is 20 minutes from here, and I've been to a game now. Yeah,
so
that's
it's
fun.
and it is fun, man.
Yeah.
I remember one time me and you bet $100 on the college football.
Oh my gosh, Georgia probably.
It was at Alabama and Notre Dame, I think. Is that?
I'm
did
guessing
that ever
Alabama.
happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that never works good for Notre Dame.
Hey, so you came to me, and I forget where I was sitting, but you came to me at halftime and gave me $100. So we did have some fun. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you saying that you leaned on me a little bit. I didn't do too well for you, but
no, I really did. And I knew, because Kevin had told me that my deal wasn't going to be renewed. This was in April. My deal was up in sometime in June. And at this point, Kevin wasn't in charge of the announcers anymore, but we sort of had a little heart to heart. Yeah. And he just he laid it all out and said, "Look, if you want to leave, we can make." And I don't even know if I should be telling the story, but whatever. It's been a long time. But he said, if you want to leave, come to my office. We were on the road. Come to my office tomorrow. We'll get it all done, and you can leave, and that'll be that. Because I don't think you're going to get renewed in June. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to wait it out and see. The network's starting, and we're doing these pre and post shows. And he was right, of course, and June came. But I had talked to you, and I don't even know what month it was. But, I remember asking you, hey, can you do something? You said that you would. And it was my time, in hindsight, looking back, I probably should have gone when Kevin talked to me that night. But I wanted to stay. I wanted to get kicked out of the door because I liked it there, and I didn't want to leave and all that. And you're making great money. But in hindsight, I probably should have. And it was time. And
But that's so many times it's easy to look back and go, I should have done this. You know what I mean? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. If my uncle had. Never mind. I think it's supposed to be my aunt. It's got to be your bowl, Josh. Go ahead, Casio, and ask a question while I make a martini.
Well, let's go back and talk a little bit about Are You Serious? That is technically the topic, but we got you to come and hang with us, so we wanted to catch up with you first.
Oh,
Talk
are we really doing a topic about Are You Serious?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well,
I mean, that's
probably
why he's
shouldn't-
here.
probably shouldn't
You guys
waste the
made
time.
magic together.
Yeah, you gotta read the
let's-
format to your own show.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. That show's horrible. I did read the format, but I don't think it said anything. Did you get notes about Are You
I-
Serious?
No,
I
got an email, but I think if we would have just done an Are You Serious recap, we probably would have been done by now, and that would have been that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we
when
gotta-
did you start wearing the headgear? Oh, wait. No. Who approached you with our? Because literally, we do get. Dog can tell you.
Yeah.
We get a lot of tweets and questions about Are You Serious? There is a
Yeah.
cult fanatic fan base out there, and so we love it. And it's goofy like this show is. It's right up Road Dogg's alley.
Amen.
But talk about, you had different incantations. There was you and Booker at one point. But talk about how you were approached with it, Josh.
I just think that this was a time in entertainment, really, that the digital landscape was so wide open, and people were, one, what kind of content can we do? Two, how do we monetize this? And all the, as you check each box, right? And then Marty DeRosa, who is a phenomenal comedian who I've known since I'm in second grade, it was doing a show with Colt Cabana, very Mystery Science Theater 2000, but wrestling.
Yeah.
And our show did get compared to, and hey, you guys are ripping off what they're doing a lot. But everyone
Were
was
we?
ripping
Did
off
we?
Mystery. Well, everyone was ripping off Mystery Science.
Mystery
Theater
Science,
2000
right.
anyway,
Right. They
So-
stole it too, right?
Yes. So,
If you stole from me, you stole from.
Yeah,
you're still at the
exactly.
second time.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
what
There
that
was so many different pilots and different shows that were shot for digital and for .com and for streaming platforms and whatever that just never did anything right.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many shows that I shot for digital. When Renee started, there were multiple times that she and I were put in different spots at 120 Hamilton at the studio trying to come up with a different show and stuff. And then we did Are You Serious? Again, like I said, with a few different folks. And then when Brian came along and as we often say, we were off to the races. And I think it became a very, maybe not the longest running show, but a pretty long running episodic show for WWE at the time. And just a lot of fun.
Truth be told, it stands the test of time if you go back
For
and
sure.
watch it. Hey, and
yeah.
there was a lot of good material on the WWE After Dark. You know what I mean? A lot of my stuff, I work blue. You know what I mean? And so a lot of my so a lot of my stuff gets left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
But we had a good time doing it. I can tell you that much.
So you guys started.
Josh, I still stay at the Hyatt Greenwich.
It's a nice hotel.
They
I
have the little water, and the water
yeah.
is all in the atrium. It's
Is
awesome.
the Westin still? I haven't been to Stamford. I was just in New York. I had my Yankees shirt on. I
know.
took my wife and my daughter.
Go
We went
Yankees.
to a Yankees game. Yeah, they won, and we went to a show on Broadway. But I haven't been to Stamford in, oh my god.
What show did you go
15
to?
years. Wicked.
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 What is that? Which one is that? Who's
That's
that?
the one, Dorothy and the Wicked
Wizard of
Witch.
Oz,
and
yeah.
the retelling of the Wicked
yeah.
Witch. It was. We had my wife got us. We were sitting in the second row. My daughter loved it. So
That's what I was going to say. Your daughter loved it.
Oh, she loved
How old
it,
is
yeah.
she?
She'll be 10 in August. So yeah.
Oh,
so she
Broadway's
thought it was
perfect
phenomenal.
at that time.
Yeah. She and I wanted to see Harry Potter. We're Harry Potter nerds.
Yeah.
We got outvoted by Mom, but I think everyone was happy with the.
It's
with the
also
outcome.
it's weird to me. Like you and the daughter, that's two people, and then Mom's still outvoted. Like it's weird how that happens, but it happens at my house, and I have like two
So
daughters and a son.
You know.
Oh, I
You
know
how it
exactly
goes.
what goes down.
Yeah.
But so what did we used to do? Did I smoke cigarettes then?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because I
I'm
think
trying
I
to-
would have.
What a random question.
You would have smelt me, right?
If there's one thing I loathe, it's cigarette smoking.
Did you used to
But-
smoke?
Oh my gosh! Like when I was like a kid, like a teenager, right?
Only when you drank?
Not a grown up.
I'm not a grown up. I'm a grown up. I don't eat ketchup.
Who smokes as an adult?
I'm not the one staring at me.
So, how many of these would you film at a time?
A lot. That
Yeah.
was
They're
the only
dropping once
part.
a week.
Yeah. No, it wasn't once a week because Brian lived in Florida. I'm guessing you were down. Yeah. So Brian
Yeah.
would fly in. I don't know how involved in the creative you were at this point, right? Because you weren't.
I was just doing this and producing at the
Yeah,
time.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah. And so I wasn't on the
I think-
writing team at all. It was a bit more flexible at that time.
So once every like 3 weeks, I think,
Yeah.
right? Because we would do like 4 or 5 shows, and then you would come back.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you said you were working blue. They're usually about 6 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How long would y'all really record each episode? 30 minutes? Like, how are we cutting down?
I think 30, right?
Yeah, I was about to say 30 is probably right around that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because then we stop and eat, and
They could use half of it.
I think they started to realize like after the 3rd or 4th show that we were kind of tapped, because you're thinking the whole time too,
Yeah,
right? You're trying
yeah.
to come up with lines, and Jeremy was great at giving us lines, but for the most part it was Brian just
Borash?
coming up with
No,
Jeremy Brown.
Jeremy Brown.
Jeremy Brown.
He
guy,
brought
yeah.
Casio. Where'd you find this guy?
Oh, bless your heart, Casio. I don't know if you were in that meeting room, but in the production meeting room of the Ric Flair last match, I was hard on Josh.
No, I was going to find firecrackers for Sin Bodhi that we didn't use. But look, go ahead. I missed a great production meeting, apparently. Rub it in.
was. We had a blast. We had a blast. But I was. You got to have thick skin. You got to come to play. What other? Is there another question you have, Casio, about Are You Serious?
No.
Or
Look, if y'all want to move on, go. I was just trying to get the questions in that we had.
Look, I'm. Never mind.
What? You're what?
No. So, Josh,
Yes, sir.
are
Yeah,
you gonna have more children?
I unfortunately can't.
Well, I didn't mean to bring that up.
Thanks, dog.
No, it's not a
not a negative
bad
thing.
thing. Yeah, it's
I'm
all
sorry.
good. We were blessed with one, and hey, we have 3 dogs who are literally surrounding me in my office.
Let's see
right
some of them.
Let's see some
of 'em.
dogs.
now. Seriously,
We always
okay.
love
Yeah.
dogs.
That's Miley.
Miley.
Yeah,
Good girl.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
good girl.
Miley's
Murphy lays right there pretty much all day every day.
What kind of
That's
dog
Murph.
is Murphy?
Murphy's a brindle mix. Hey, sweetie. They're all girls.
Beautiful.
And then Margot is no, I don't see her. So she usually sits there
In that chair?
every day, in that chair right there. But we're after hours, so we
Yeah.
go to work every day. We have a very strict schedule, and she sits there. And then at the end of the day, she leaves. So
She
that's
leaves
kinda-
here. Yeah, she's out by
she's
the
done.
pool.
She's, hey, I'm done working.
She's out by the pool right now.
Yeah, she's just chilling.
So what, that brindle, is it kind of a pit bull thing?
We got her in Nashville. They're all rescue dogs.
Yeah.
We think
Yeah.
she's half pit something.
Yeah.
Margot is like a Rottweiler mix, and then
Ooh.
Miley is our COVID dog who knows what she is. So.
Yeah, good. She's
Those
probably
are the best
one.
kind.
Yeah.
She's super sweet and wants nothing to do with anybody. So
Josh, let me ask you this, and I'm dancing all over the place, but this is one I really meant to ask. The kid thing, I totally regret, and I apologize. I wish I could.
you
We'll
don't
have
have
to
to regret
edit
it.
that out.
It's,
Yeah.
I
I think
hug
I've
you.
told the story before. It's all good. And
Not on my podcast, you son
It's our
of a
journey.
sting. I wish I could hug you right now and kiss your cheek gently, or your neck, like right under your
enjoy that.
under your ear. You know
I
what
would
I mean?
enjoy that. Yeah, right back there.
Did you? Because this is not you going into the truck. Was not your forte. That's not what you were doing, right? Like that's not.
No, and I was just announcing the shows, right, and then working behind the scenes. But again, it was just came out of a world where it was like, okay, Keith's gone. Ron Buffone, I believe that's his name. He did ECW, I
Yeah.
think. He came in for a while. I really liked working with Ron. And then it was so strange to me because, like, my journey in wrestling is I think, just so different from everybody else's because, like, I didn't start out doing anything. I started at Yankee Stadium, right?
Yeah.
I started in WWE with Kevin Dunn and, like, oh, these are the best headsets you can possibly
Yeah.
have, and these are the best these you can have, and, like, everything is, like, 5-star, and the hotels are perfect.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of like my journey went backwards almost, and you know, when I first got to TNA, I was like, guys, we need new headsets. Like, if you remember Don West and Mike TNA had those big, I was like,
Yeah.
we're getting rid of those.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's what they use on Monday Night Football. But it was just, you know, I felt that I could give more to the company by producing the show
Okay.
than I could by by just being out there announcing. It is kind of where my head was. So.
That's admirable. Admirable as crap. But I was that leads me to my next. So do you like this better than being on camera?
It's so much better. I love it. There's nothing that I love Tom. I hope Tom's with us forever. I think Tom is a much better play-by-play guy than I am.
Y'all work well together?
Yeah, we work great together. Cool. And I don't give a lot of credit. I should give more credit to Matt Raywalt, who's our color commentator, who's awesome as well. I think those guys do great. I think they worked together in WWE for a minute, but they're just a great team. And I think we put them together and they're great. And there's nothing that I want to do. There's nothing else I want to do other than be in that truck until the end of my career.
And look, I it always comes back to me when you're talking to me. But I honestly love being behind the scenes more too. It's way more rewarding to have your fingerprints on this show in a meaningful way, where it's literally your creative vision is being poured out there. And so it's your, like, I don't know, I love it, man. And when it's a success, good, that's good, but we got to do it again next week. So let's roll. You know what I mean? And if it sucks, I beat myself up so bad.
For a long time too, and it's just like, and getting to work with so many different creative people. Like Jimmy Jacobs just left us to go to AEW, and Jimmy was awesome, and Delirious Hunter from Ring of Honor has now started with us, and he's going to do fine. And it's just seeing these people come in and then talking to them and getting to know them. And then my wife, who is now with AEW and has been there for over a year, when she retired in ring for us, for Impact, she did it on a live countdown show, and we kept it to the very end of the show. And I gave her about 2 minutes to announce her retirement from in-ring competition. And now this is my wife, live television, retiring, crying, and I'm opening her, going, "We've got to effing go. The show has to effing end right now.
Drop dead in 30 seconds."
Yes, I said, "We have a pay-per-view. You've got to wrap this up." And she's sobbing, and I was like, "Oh my god." In hindsight, we probably should have given her 3 minutes. We gave it to her. But things like that, and then she handled it perfectly fine. And but those situations when you're looking at that red clock and you've got 4 seconds left and you've got to get out of it, that pressure, there's no pressure like that.
Let me ask you this, Josh. Don't you friggin' live for that?
Yes. And that's the part. Yeah, that's
it's, man, that first bell rings, that show open, whatever.
Hey guys, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley here, and I need to call a quick timeout, a brief timeout, because I wanted to tell your listeners what I have been telling Foley is Pod listeners for a while now about all the cool things happening over on adfreeshows.com.
On the debut episode of Making the Town, Lou Meany takes us through the memorable matches and moments of the famed ECW arena, including one that was never seen.
Something very special happened after the power went off. Paul Heyman went out into the ring and spoke to the crowd without a microphone. And the crowd just stayed quiet and listened. And he gave the most heartfelt thank you to that crowd that night. And the biggest shame of it is there's no footage of it because the power went out.
On an all-new Tuesday with the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan talks about what some of the greatest factions of all time have in common.
4 horsemen, 4 guys when they're at their strongest. NWO, 4 guys when they're at the strongest. And then Bloodline, 4 guys. But they also had a manager, each one of them. JJ, Eric, and Paul E.
That's just a small taste, a sampling, if you will, of what we have waiting for you. With 4 levels to choose from. See for yourself why ad-free shows is the best value in wrestling today. Sign up now at adfreeshows.com.
and live TV is hop in the frying pan, Jack. And when it's over, you can hop out, but not until then. And I don't know. I love it. I love it. I love it. There's nothing better than it.
After my first show, I told Scott tomorrow, I said, okay, let's do football games. Let's do basketball games. Let's do everything that we can live. As soon as because with access and everything and not really knowing and us owning access, it was like, okay, how many concerts do they have this year? And can we produce all of them? And, then you take a breath but it just, there is nothing, there is no adrenaline rush. There's nothing that I've ever experienced. And I got to fortunately call a WrestleMania in my life, which was, the pinnacle of a play-by-play announcer in wrestling. But to do this every week, even on the tape shows, like it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun.
Hey, and that's where your guy, I think you said his name was Eric. Eric?
Yes, Eric Tompkins.
That's where he comes in. On those tape shows, he's probably a miracle worker. So any and don't answer this if you don't want to, but have they ever talked to you at AEW about doing anything?
Informally, I think what they're doing is great. I should start by saying, I love Impact, and I don't think that, if they'll have me, I'll stay for the rest of my career. And it's funny because with our schedules, because she's on the Wednesday show, and so I just don't know how.
Right?
Yeah, it really is.
And look, and truth be told, and this is not a knock, and I don't mean it that way at all, but you may not be given the same opportunities over there. You know what I mean? They may rather have you as an on-screen guy or something. And it's
100%.
And then it's not worth it. You know what I mean?
And the other thing too is like watching her come home on Thursdays. Like I remember every week being on the road and being so tired, and it's like I enjoy our schedule. I love playing golf. I get to play golf as much as I want, and I get to be dad. So it's like I make dinner every night, and I'm home every night, and we just got back.
You found a balance.
100%. We just got back from TV, and it was like I was tired for 4 days, and I was gone for 2. It's like okay, but it's also nice to watch her, because for 13, however many years she's been doing this, like she never made it to that point, to the live TV every week, and she coached the main event of the Ring of Honor pay-per-view on Friday. So to have her come back and talk about that and the live aspect of it, it really is. And,
Josh, let me ask you this: do you still drink like a fish?
I don't.
Hey, isn't it so much easier, like that schedule? You know what I mean? Because look, for me, I don't know, man. I stopped doing all the drugs and life got easier. I started focusing. Look, I also have found balance now in my work, and I thank God for that, because I have time to work and time to be a granddad and a father and a husband and all of the above. And so very thankful for that. Look, I totally understand where you're coming from. I wouldn't want to leave there either. This is what you wanted to do. This is what you're honing that skill too, because had you ever done it before they said you're doing it?
No. And that's kind of the thing too, that I need to not be more thankful, because I think that I am thankful, but to realize that not a lot of places would have said, okay, we'll try it.
We'll roll the dice with you, man.
And it's been a few years now, and I think it's worked out well for everybody, which is great. But the schedule is really nice, and it does afford us the opportunity to do different things, to try different things, and we have a team of people that whether or not you were. I think everyone's kind of found their niche and where they need to be. So.
Yeah. Look, I loved nothing better than sitting up there with Tommy Dreamer going over the match he was going to produce, and all he did was talk about matches that he had at the ECW arena or something. I was like, Tommy, they have to have a match. I don't know if you want to talk to them about that. And you know who? And I think you guys just lost him too, and it's a loss to me, because I saw him in the ring doing what he could do to that's D'Lo Brown.
I love D'Lo.
Is he gone too?
D'Lo is back.
Okay, awesome.
He's
Nice.
back just agenting. So he'll be in Chicago this week.
Good.
And D'Lo to me is a great agent. Yeah.
I agree with you, man. He was on a point with everything. He was in there talking about camera angles and stuff, and it just impressed the fire out of me. And then Tommy was up there talking about matches and stuff.
Yeah, D'Lo is great because he's an awesome producer, and he kind of helps me stay excited about, like, he came into the truck at Last TV and he's like, I want to try something coming back from Brick. What do you think about? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, that sounds awesome. And, and that sort of stuff, like, you know, and it works out well.
And I'll tell you who was really good at it. Joey Mercury was one of the best I ever seen doing it. But talking them and trying different stuff and coming back from break on a guy trying to make a like just different camera stuff that he would throw out, and it's like a visionary. Man, that's what you need to change stuff up. Anyway, D'Lo's a star. So you're gonna stay there forever, you say?
Well, you know, I'm looking as my child gets older and as I get older and as I think about playing on the PGA Senior Tour, you know.
Are you serious?
No, I'm not that good. When I play a lot, I'm pretty good. But no, I just, you know, if it goes that way, then awesome, you know. And if, you know, if I never do anything on camera again, like it's that's just cool kind of like exactly this, you know, it's just where
that's where so Billy took his boots off on TV the other night, and I texted him the next day and I said, what'd you do? And he said, I quit. I said, you didn't quit, right? You just stopped wrestling. And he was like, yeah. I said, well, good. You deserve it, dude. You've been you're 60-something years old, still taking bumps in there. But yeah, so good for him, man. He retired. But look, if you can stay there and do what you love to do, like, and I'm with you, man. There's something about going out there and wrestling and then coming back and going, okay, yeah, that was cool, thank you. But there's something else about seeing the whole show from the captain's chair and watching it play out and be a success. And you lay your head down at night and go, we did good today. You know what I mean? And we did it well. And there's going to be a lot of people out here that pick it apart and say negative crap. It's all because they can't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we know what good is. We know what bad is. And you lay your head on that pillow at night and go, we did good today. Yeah. Or like you said, man, I wish I'd have went to that such and such a hair earlier or a hair later or whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But that's again 2020. You know what I mean? Hindsight's 2020. What the cool part is going through that and the adrenaline and the energy that you feel trying to get the best shot of these guys giving it their all out there, man. I don't know. I love
Nothing
it.
like
I
it.
love it.
Nothing like it. Yeah. I just I wish that I knew earlier that this is what I, you know, had gone to aspire to be, right? Like I took a weird path to get here, and it all worked out the way it's supposed to, right?
It's supposed to. That's the thing, man. Is you can kick against the pricks, but it all went down exactly how it was supposed to, and I can be okay with that and accept it, or I can bash my head against this wall. You know what I mean? It's a cheap wall. I'd probably put my head right through it. I don't even know where I'm at right now. So what else, Casio?
Well, I want to go back to before he's figured out his perfect sweet spot. Ooh. Because you've done everything. You've commentated, you've been in ring, you got throttled by Brock Lesnar, you called JR in a match. But since I had him on the brain, I guess, little Slammiversary, you and Scott Steiner are taking on Borash and Abyss. Let's go back to that a little bit, Mr. Joseph.
You have video of that?
No, I wish we did. But
oh God!
Just talk about one, Scott Steiner being able to team up with him, how fun that was, and let's rank Jeremy Borash on fighters you've wrestled.
So this was unlike anything I have ever experienced in my life, and it was. I'm trying to figure out where to start this story. So Anthem purchases TNA, and they want to bring back Jeff Jarrett, because why wouldn't you want to bring back Jeff Jarrett? He's the one who started this all. Jeff comes to a TV to sort of just kind of see how all this is going, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, I think your creative team was John Gaborik, who was in charge, who gets a terrible rep for everything that happened. It was not John's fault, everybody. He was up against an impossible situation that he couldn't fix. Just to say that.
But his name was the one that was out there.
Yes.
So he gets lambasted.
Yeah, terribly. So Jeff comes back, and I'm getting ready to go out to commentate, and I say to Jeff, hey, man, listen to the reaction that I get here. They don't like, And he kind of pats me on the back. He's like, oh, kid, okay, whatever. So I go out, we do the show. I come back 3 hours later or 4 hours later, and he's the first one I see. And he goes, Josh, they don't just not like you. They hate you. I got an idea. And I go, okay. And I left. And he came up with this whole thing. And as the heel play-by-play guy, nobody liked it. The fans didn't like it. We didn't like it. JB and I are sitting in a tiny booth calling these shows, screaming at each other. We didn't like it, but this is Jeff's vision. Yeah. I went to him so many times. I said, Jeff, I'll do this match at Slammiversary. You can make it. Loser gets fired. I'll quit. I think that's what you want. It's fine. And he's like, no, Josh, that's not what I want. This is a long – this is not what I want. I promise you. So in any event, we do this match. He gets Scott Steiner to come back. It was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. It was a blast.
I gotta watch this.
It was crazy. The whole storyline was just revolving around JB being bitter because I was brought in to get the job that he was supposed to have for Mike Tenay was supposed to give him the play job, and Jeff made a great story out of it, and we ran with it, and we had a lot of fun with it, and then JB called me and he said, hey man, I'm going to WWE. I said, I wish you so much luck, and I think he's doing great down there.
He is, man. He got an opportunity to kind of spread his wings a little bit down there too, and good for him, man. He's a good guy and really good at what he does as well. Look, I think you guys are. And it was fun when I went there. Y'all had what I loved about it was there was no stress. It was like, we got this job to do. Let's do the job. Let's do it to the best of our ability, and let's go home tonight. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't, what are you doing? You know, it wasn't, nobody was scared of anybody. It felt really cool.
Yeah, we have Lance Storm with us now as a producer, and he came back after one of our first shows together, and he was like, I just didn't know that I could do this without getting yelled at. And I was like, well, I don't, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but
if you could from now on just cuss Lance out.
Screaming, Because I remember asking him, like, hey, what's your break spot here? And, where are we going here? And, what do you want to come back on? Is anything happening on the break? And he was just like, same thing I ask every producer that sits down that has a match that goes into 2 segments. And and he was just like, it was just a normal conversation. I said, well, we're not on the pressure cooker of being live on Monday Night Raw. 4 million people aren't watching. I totally get the difference in what they've built up there, and I respect it. I respect the hell out of it.
Yeah, you have to, right? But it's they ain't cornered the market. You know what I mean? Like there are other places to work in this industry, and you found one, man. And it sounds like you found one, and you're going to make it your home. What I think is really cool is Zahadi's not doing what he was kind of trained to do either, right?
Right. And I think David, again, wanted to direct. I don't know. David was directing when I got there, so I'm not really sure the path that he took.
Happened.
But David and Kevin Sullivan were in WWE when I first started there years ago. Yep. David was like this. He would just walk around the studio with a baseball bat or some sort of bat or whatever, but just like creating things. And he was the one who came up with the whole sit on the shoulders of giants and all of that. And a super creative, talented guy. I love sitting next to David, as he directs the shows. And again, not a director, not a trained director, but he's been doing it for a long time.
And that's what I love about that team is that you guys had to learn on the job. You know what I mean?
We're the Bad News Bears.
We're
trying to make it work.
And it works. That's like I said Fight TV was there. Everybody was there at that Ric Flair show, man. So many different companies just came together and worked like a well-oiled machine. And it was just like, and I know a lot of that team was y'all's, but who else was there? Does Fight work with y'all all the time?
Yeah. So Fight is under the Anthem umbrella.
Yep.
So it makes sense. I think who was there? Me, Scott, David, Eric was there probably shooting if there were any pre-tapes.
I think I probably know exactly who you're talking about.
Bigger dude, tall dude, shaved head.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
I did meet him too.
Yeah. And I saw Matt Mitchell on one of the emails that you guys sent me. Is Matt? Is that the same Matt Mitchell?
No, I think it's this. His name is Casio's name is Matt Mitchell.
What? You?
I thought it was Matt Mitchell, the audio guy. I just was connecting dots, but
Matt. Yeah, we have Matt working here as an audio guy.
Matt, sit down.
You guys must have a hell of a budget.
We got a decent budget.
Multiple Matt Mitchells. That's
Matt,
strong.
put the ball gag back in your mouth.
Wait, is he Robert the Gimp?
He's Robert the Gimp. I have a guy, Robert the Gimp, that just sits over there. Sometimes I whip him.
I can't believe you brought Robert the Gimp out in front of Josh Mathews. It's the first guest you've ever brought in.
Josh, what you said you're going to do some TVs in Chicago this week. What are y'all doing? Anything?
We got 4 episodes to shoot this weekend in Chicago.
Yeah.
This is our Chicago Heat. Then we'll be back in Chicago for Bound for Glory. We've got Toronto in between there.
Oh, yeah.
Then,
good towns. Just the good towns.
Yeah, Toronto's good. We just got back from Atlanta. You know, it's in Lou D'Angeli, as you guys may know, as Sign Guy Dudley is a part of our team now as a marketing
right?
guy. Yeah, and he was with WWE and he was with Cirque du Soleil. And, and Lou and I have you know, have a great relationship and you know, we text every night and just you know, again, it's just bringing in the right people and the right fit. And
heck yeah.
Like the culture, yeah.
That's the thing, man. You get the culture. You go, who's gonna go against the grain. That's actually what I felt like when I was up there. I don't mean I was not welcomed. I just meant like I hadn't been here long enough to fit in yet. You know what I mean?
You and I talked early in the airport on the day home, the flight home day.
Yeah.
And you sort of expressed that, and I totally understand that.
Hey, I'm Double J Jeff Jarrett, and I know a thing or two about walking out on a bad deal. Like paying someone else's mortgage. Don't let your landlord get over on you. Walk out on that bad deal and stop throwing your money away on rent today with SaveWithConrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. You may not even need a down payment. Your new house payment could be less than what you're paying now. So if you're still renting, what are you doing? Conrad and his team can help you reverse your landlord's figure 4 leg lock, and you can move up the card to home ownership. Visit SaveWithConrad.com today. That's right, SaveWithConrad.com today.
NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Woo!
Yeah, it really was fun though because I didn't have any pressure at all on me. You know what I mean? It was, but it really felt like there's one guy, and I'm gonna mess his name up or forget his name, but he handles Johnny something or other. Johnny Bravo. Johnny Bravo. So he's a hustler. He's a hustler. I remember him from up there about he was sweating to death, but he was making sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to do and standing where they were supposed to stand. And that stood out to me that day. So I'll give a shout out to him for logistics standout.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo's great. Johnny runs our go position and works directly with me and Ingrid, who's our floor manager. I mean, one floor manager, and she does. She does a lot more than manage the floor. That's for sure. She was carrying stuff, chairs and stuff. Yes. Snipping corners, getting gear, telling me when the ring's ready. You know, it's just
she kind of runs the floor there.
She does a great job.
She really does.
Everyone's I can't sing the praises of everybody and just how hard everybody works enough. And I'm glad that you got to see it for the weekend.
Yeah, look, I think you guys are growing, man, and I think it's fun to watch. Look, I was a part of it in a different era and a different I guess it was a totally different leadership and everything, but it's really cool to see, like, holy crap, this thing is still going. When I remember when Jeff called me in like 2002 or something, was like, you want to come to Nashville and in the asylum up there or whatever, and it was just this little engine that could, man. It just won't. It just will not take no for an answer, and it continues to move forward. But to me, what I've seen, and I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here, but what I've seen is positive growth with the talent roster, with the production value. It seems like it's moving in the right direction for a wrestling company, and that's got to feel good to you. You know what I mean? Because you play a major role in that.
I think everyone cares, and everyone cares a lot, and that shows. And it's just you know,
that
everybody.
One guy cared too much. Who was trying to grab my butt.
Yeah, he
Remember
sure
did. Jimmy Bravo, Johnny's brother.
It's an incredible. You know, it's just, you know, and we all have our days, right? And,
of course.
We all get together and put forth the most, you know, the best show that we can each and every time we're out there. So.
Yeah. Hey, we mentioned him a couple times, so before we get out of here, I want to make sure, let's get a funny story or just any kind of take on Mr. Scott D'Amore. I haven't seen him since Mania weekend, but talk about working for Scott D'Amore, maybe a funny story for our guy, Scott D'Amore.
I don't
He's
know
the
if
boss,
I have
so keep it.
any funny story. I mean, you just talk about someone who put all these people together and sort of, you know, and I've told him privately, and I've messaged this publicly too, like, had the faith to let me sit there and do this and produce this show. And he even said after his match at Slammiversary, I had no issues going and playing with my friends in the ring for a little while you guys did this, because I have faith in you guys. I knew that the show would be fine. I got to go and be a wrestler for a little bit. He had a match with Bully in the tag team match and all that, and had zero issues knowing that, you know, that we would be fine. And
you had the helm.
Yes, and you know, just a great human being. You know, Scott and my wife and I did a vow renewal. We wanted to do it for our 5-year. COVID came. We did it for our 7-year. Scott came down, made the drive from Windsor.
Seven is biblically the perfect number. So
biblically perfectly, yeah. So we did great. It's just you know, we have a great relationship, and this is somebody that any wrestler, any producer, any floor manager, any PA, you know, from the tip top to the very bottom, if they want to talk to him, you know, 2 minutes,
available.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, he's available.
Yeah.
And that, you know, it doesn't have to be, doesn't need to do that, but does it? So, you know,
no, and that's, he's very hands-on. And you said he's the guy that put all these people together, and that's an art. You know what I mean? That's a skill to be able to manage people. And a lot of people have egos. I don't know if you know that or not, Josh, but in this industry, some people have egos. So to be able to manage that and handle everything like he's been doing is kudos to him, man. He's really done good for himself.
Yeah. And I think that, I just think that being in the wrestling business for as long as he has, and you know, with Border City Wrestling to now Impact, and being a part of TNA from the very early beginning, and being with Jeff, understands and appreciates what everybody is going through and trying to do. So
and it seems like he knows every job. You know what I mean? That's the thing is you got to know kind of how to do everything if you're going to lead people and tell them how to do it.
Talk to him for 5 minutes. You know how much passion he's got about it.
Sure.
And about Impact, not just wrestling, but Impact. He's got, and that's the guy you want in charge, of the guy that goes, I know what everybody's doing. I'm willing to do it if I need to do it.
Yeah.
And let's figure out how to make this the best product.
Yeah, it was super
it's
cool.
So good.
Super cool to work with him at that Ric Flair deal. I saw Rick not long after that, and I said, "Hey, I heard you fell asleep like during your match or something. We didn't notice." And I said, "But it's okay. Like a lot of the fans fell asleep early on during your match." So
it was about 18 minutes too long.
So I literally said that to him in a hotel lobby while I was shaking his hand. I was like, "Hey, don't feel bad. A lot of people fell asleep during."
It's like I listened to something that Jeff said after, and he was like, "I wish that he would have taken his boots off and we would have taken the lights and gone black." I was like, "What a great idea to think of! Like a week after the show was over, right?" Like,
well, it is easier, you know what I mean, than to.
And I said, "We'll do it at the next one." So
yeah.
We'll do it
the next last match.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought we were going to get Lash LaRue's, but you told me no, he's coming back.
He's coming back.
So, hey, Josh, look, we've talked so long, I don't know what else to say to you other than I love you.
I love you too, man.
I've missed
nice
you. Yeah, it's awesome to see you even on camera. I loved seeing you at the Ric Flair deal. I loved working with you in Chicago. Hopefully our paths will cross again. But you're doing it, dude. You're doing what you want to do, what you love to do, what you're passionate about doing it, and they're paying you. Suckers. But they're paying me too, and they're even bigger suckers for that. So, but that's the thing, man. Acceptance. I've been through a lot of crap in my life, and I've made a lot of mistakes, but I won't make one today. You know what I mean? And I have a choice as to how I'm going to face the day. And I have you know what I mean? It's maturity and wisdom come. And I wish I would have done things different. I wish I wouldn't have never started snorting cocaine and smoking meth and sleeping with. I'm sorry. Anyway, but you know what I mean? Like, here we are. We're still around in this industry. It's a cutthroat industry. We're still doing what we love to do. You're probably making more money than me, but it's cool. I mean, whatever.
You said that in 2012, too, when you were trying to help me keep my job back then.
And I literally was like, why am I trying to help you? You probably make more money than me.
Yeah, I think
the commentators got paid.
We did pretty well.
Yeah, but I'm super happy for you because I know the person you are, and you deserve what feels like serenity and peace of mind.
Yeah. And it took a while to get here, but if I've never said it to you, I want to say just thank you for everything that I'll never forget what you did for me then.
Oh, man.
And I just, like you, when other people weren't, it's easy to pile on, right? When the, and I don't even want to say people's names, but when the a-holes of the world are doing something, it's very easy to have that mentality, and you never did that. So I just want to say thank you.
Well, I did behind your back. Anyway, it was good. I'm just kidding, dude. I had to save face. I have to act like I'm tough anyway.
Yeah.
But no, to this day, I will tell anybody and everybody with ears, you're a good man and you're good at your job, no matter what that job is. And so I appreciate you taking the time and being on here with us, dude.
Thank you guys so much. I had a blast. Let's not make it a long time before we do it again.
Amen.
Dog, I think he can handle the thankful minute.
I know he can.
All right, so as the Raw general manager says, this is the thankful minute, and that is where we put 60 seconds on the clock, Josh, and you have 60 seconds. The floor is yours to tell us everything you're thankful for going on right now. It
You got a minute. And
it could be a big picture, small picture.
Okay.
Dude, you could do it. You could go for 30 minutes. All I need you to do is for one.
60 seconds. You'll
is there
see it on.
Is there a clock?
There's going to be a clock.
There's
you guys are
explosion.
fancy.
Go
okay.
now.
It's already running.
Go.
I feel like it's Thanksgiving, but in all seriousness, I am thankful that I've had the opportunity and the journey that I've had to be in this world. My brother, who was 3 years older than me, introduced me to wrestling. WrestleMania 2. My brother has since passed away. He had a addiction problem. And we lost him a little over a year ago. But not a day goes by that I don't think about him. I'll get to see my family this week in Chicago, and I'm sure we'll talk about him. And he was the one who put me on this path. I met my wife in wrestling. I have an amazing family because of this sports, this entertainment, and I get to be a part of it every day, whether it's dealing with merchandise or writing a show or producing a show or getting to talk to you guys. I couldn't be more thankful and more happy with where I am in life.
Oh my God!
Damn!
It blew up. Yeah, that was
That's
great.
what it's all about, right there.
That is what it's all about, and you're doing what you love and loving what you do. Try if I can make a living out of loving you. Be a millionaire in a week or two. Sorry, I have a voice of an angel. They say sometimes I have the voice of a generation.
He's been around you. He knows you just take off singing sometimes.
Yeah, every now and then.
It's
Just
you know what I watched?
It's best just to let him finish.
I watched the Run DMC DX. Somebody put it on Twitter. I watched it the other day. It was great. But the whole time I was like, JR, stop talking. Let me listen to this. Lay out, man. So
lay out. No, JR had to get his crap in.
They talk, I didn't hear any of the song. It was him and King, and they were just talking. I was like, oh, well, I wanted to listen to this song.
Somebody else just shared when we were on there with, I think it was Motley Crue or somebody. I don't know who it was. Some of them had
Kid Rock, maybe. I don't know, man.
No, well, I'm sure we were with him several times. Snorted coke. Anyway,
you and I got to hang out at one of the Tribute to the Troops show. We did a lot together.
Yes, we did. We have done a lot together, and I hope we do a lot together in the future, Josh.
Me too, man. Me too.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate the time.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
We're here to let you go.
I
could have been watching Messi play soccer for the last hour and 18 minutes.
Yep, you're fired.
The world's watching.
Hey, what happened with the women beat? I know this was a few days ago. The women beat Vietnam.
Tomorrow. Yeah, they beat Vietnam. They didn't win by as many as everyone thought they did. They only won by 3. But they play again on Wednesday, and they'll find themselves in the final game. And then Messi with Inter Miami, they're in the Leagues Cup right now. I don't know if they'll win it all, but they'll get close. And
you're talking about real football now, ain't you?
Real football.
How about that? We got a soccer minute to be in instead of the thankful
minute and a
I should have done
soccer
that.
minute.
I could have done that for a minute.
We didn't get the soccer minute from Blue Meanie, I'll tell you that. We got some farting minutes.
Hey,
but
I'll
not
tell you
soccer
that
minute.
for free.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, I could do this all day. Josh, I love you, man.
Hey, can I come back during football season for real? Like,
yes.
Football stuff? Okay, great.
Yes, heck yes.
Football stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Casio knows it, and I watch it. So shoot. All right, man. Hey, well, we're gonna get you out of here, and then me and Casio are gonna talk bad about you.
Good. Love it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, thanks, Josh.
Yeah,
Good
see you
luck,
guys.
dude.
Well, what a great guy.
What a
man.
great guy, right? And that's the kind of person he is. And when you travel with him, and like it's hard not to fall in love with the guy. He's a good-looking little kid. He always, I say little kid, now he's 40-something years old, but he always dressed to the nines. And I mean looking good in a suit with the right color gimmick in his breast pocket. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like he's the dude. And his pants are too short, but his socks are on point. So you know what I'm saying? It's like that that kind of dude. And some fly loafers or something, you know. But he's a great guy.
Well, it's fun to be a fly on the wall, man. Let y'all
Man, it
catch
really
up
wasn't.
and-
I know some of it was probably talk above people's heads, just to talk about work, running the truck and stuff. But he's good at it, man, and it's something he never trained or thought he would be doing in his life, and now he's doing it on a nationally, globally acclaimed wrestling program. You know what I mean? So good for him, man. It was great to catch up with.
Great family, incredibly talented wife who's doing her thing.
Amen.
And I appreciate him taking the time out. Dog, we got the thankful minute in. We got everything in, man. I hope you had a blast. I had a blast.
I really
watching
did.
y'all.
I had a good time with Josh. Like I said, me and him, we worked well together when we were together. If I worked with him right now, we'd still work well together. I'd yell at him during the live show, but then we'd be fine afterwards. It's just how it goes.
Like, subscribe, follow us on all the social media.
Please.
Also, we've got some brand new merch over at boxofgimmicks.com.
Oh, you're going to want to see. What do you got?
All the new tumblers.
Oh, you didn't know?
We
I
need
want
those.
a tumbler to go. Sorry.
Me and you are drinking every show. We need our own cup.
Yeah, I'm hammered.
I have to. Well, I didn't mean
you
drinking.
oh,
I just meant we have to figure out cups that are like
this is
TV
worthy. This
worthy.
is a Stanley Cup. It's
We
ugly.
want a dog tumbler.
I want a dog tumbler. I want.
Look at that.
I think I want the pink one.
Oh, do you? Stand out a little bit. That's
be
available exclusively at boxofgimmicks.com. Like, subscribe, rate, leave a comment. If you made it this far, just comment in the section below. Are you serious? Just comment that. Y'all went this long? Are you serious? Just comment below. Leave us a 5-star rating on all platforms. Find Josh Mathews on. We got Top Dog. You want to do Top Dog?
Oh, let's do Top Dog. Yeah.
We'll end on Top Dog. That'll be a fun one to go out. Give you 3 names, Dog, and you got to tell us: are you a better sports entertainer than
I'm excited
those
about this one.
sports entertainers? Are you ready?
No.
Okay.
But go anyway.
Okay. Are you a better sports entertainer than AJ Styles?
Oh. I'm going to say this out loud. And it's going to be a statement, a blanket statement. I am a better sports entertainer than AJ Styles.
You're going to catch so much grief for that.
He is a better wrestler than I am.
There we go. We knew that.
No questions asked.
This is a question of sports entertainer.
Yeah. And I think that's a blanket, that's a statement. And I said what I said. AJ would work circles around me, and you have heard me say on this very broadcast time and time again, he is definitely top 3 for me in the industry, especially now. He just still works so hard and always has, and always worked like it was real. But he's never really entertained me.
Are you a better sports entertainer than Michael P.S. Hayes?
No.
Woo!
Man, Michael's been doing, I wish I could do what Michael did. You know what I mean? Michael's been doing it for a long time when it was real hard to do it. Michael was still doing it and doing it and doing it well. And, you know, what you don't think about Michael is he had the book in a lot of these big places. Florida, in the Graham territory, in Texas, he was booking for, like he's been doing this since he was like 7 years old, I think.
And he has the same suits from when he was
same
7 years
suit
old.
from '87, actually.
And looking fly.
But hey, he looks fly for a white guy, and that's what he does. And that's his gimmick. And if you don't like it, he's got 2 words for you. But no, I am not a better sports entertainer than Michael P.S. Hayes. Because, man, you go back and watch some of that stuff. He was the goods, man.
Boy,
I mean, he
the
wasn't the
crowd
goods
ate 'em
without
up. They
he
were
wasn't
ready.
he wasn't the goods without Bam Bam, but he was the goods. You know what I mean? Like it was, you knew he could talk you into a fight, and Bam Bam could fight his way out of it. That's what I love about him.
Dude, son. All right, last but not least, are you a better sports entertainer
Oh God.
than Insane Clown Posse?
Oh yes, but not Luna Vachon or Kurgan or John Tenta. But yes, to the Insane Clown Posse. Matt, did I ever tell you the story about this Insane Sound Posse? The Insane Clown Posse like did something with the Headbangers, and me and Billy were supposed to run down there and like beat them both teams up and do some. We got down there and they were fighting like front face locking each other and. Me and Billy just stopped and looked at each other, and then we just started stomping them. But like, yeah, the Headbangers were beating the crap out of them.
You've never been to the Gathering of the Juggalos or anything?
I have been to the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Have you? I
have been 2 times.
Oh gosh.
One on drugs,
and
1 clean and sober with Billy, who was also clean and sober.
Which one
but
was
we
better?
worked with Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and X-Pac, who were not clean and sober. But
wow.
Fast forward, or rewind a year before that, I was there hammered, and still have scars on my body to prove that I was there at the gathering on heavy medication.
Scars.
Yes.
Did you fall a
scars.
bit?
I fell 8 feet off of the. I didn't really realize the ring was on a big platform. So
I forgot
Sean
you-
Davari drop kicked me off the apron, and I took a bump, and then I just rolled off the platform and fell all the way.
Craziest. I'm not going to say when you were medicated because that you could have seen anything. Sober you at ICP Gathering of the Juggalos
to death.
Give me something wild you saw.
Me and Billy hid in the trailer. Like we didn't come out of the trailer until it was time to go. But you can't open your eyes without seeing something wild.
Weird.
You know what I mean? Like it's the craziest place I ever been to in my life. I was hammered high. I was in heaven. I was sober. It was hell, believe you me. And oh man, they had a drug bridge. You go down to the drug bridge, and there's like a bridge going over a little creek or something, and people are just set up with like gimmick tables, like they're selling their pictures, and they're selling like mushrooms, and you just go down there and go, like, I'll have 2 of those and 6 of those. It was scary times, but fun.
Well, we will. This has been a fun one as well. Thank you again to Josh Mathews for taking time out and hang out with us. Dog, thank you for taking us down memory lane with him, my friend.
Had a great time, man.
That was super fun,
Yeah.
and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I know Dog enjoyed it, and if you didn't enjoy it, we got 2 words for you.
Suck it.